So, good morning, everyone. I think everyone I am audible and visible. In this class, we are going to start with motion in two dimension. In the previous class, we had covered motion in one dimension, and now we will move on to motion or relative motion in two dimension. Whatever happens, whether you call it relative motion in one dimension or you call it relative motion in two dimension, what you got to do is if you want to find out the velocity of any body A with respect to any other body B, what you got to do is you need to subtract the velocity of B from velocity of A. The only difference here that's going to be happening is that this velocity may not be along one axis, the body may be moving along a plane. Do we understand this? Yes or no? Okay, now to understand this concept of relative velocity of A with respect to B, let me now put you a question. Question number one. Body A is moving with velocity 2i plus 3j. Body B is moving with velocity 3i minus 2j. You have to find the velocity of A with respect to B and velocity of B with respect to A. So this is the first question that will give you a hint of what you are supposed to do. I will give you 1 minute to solve this. Simple question. Just use what you know. Just use what is written there and we are done. Let me know once you have solved the question. Yes, Bacha, do we have an answer? Or shall I do it?
0.
0? I'm getting 0? Sure. How are you getting 0? Okay. So if we had to find velocity of A with respect to B, what will you do? From A, you subtract the velocity of B. And that is what we are going to do. Velocity of A with respect to B. Velocity of A. How much is the velocity of A given? It is 2i plus 3j. So 2i plus 3j minus the velocity of B. The velocity of B is given as 3I minus 2J. I subtract both. The answer is 2I minus 3I is minus I. 3I, 3J minus 2J is 5J. And that is your answer of velocity of A with respect to B. Do you understand this? Everyone got the answer? Now, sometimes they might ask you to find the magnitude of this velocity. In NEET, they might ask you only the magnitude. So how do you find the magnitude of this velocity? Magnitude of this velocity will be under root of minus 1 square plus 5 square, x square plus y square. We know this, yes or no? So it will be under root of 26. That would be your magnitude of velocity of A with respect to B. Everyone understands this? If you had to find velocity of B with respect to A, you had to do the reverse of it, velocity of B minus velocity of A, but probably you understand that you don't have to do it. You can straight away tell me the answer for this one. What will be the velocity of B with respect to A? It will be negative of velocity of A with respect to B. Yes or no? So the answer in that case will be I minus 5J. That will be velocity of B with respect to A. If you have to find out the magnitude of velocity of B with respect to A, that will be simply equal to under root of 26. Do we understand this? Yes or no? Any problem, anyone? Please tell me. Any problem, anyone? Anyone, any problem? You understand this?
Yes, sir.
Shall we move ahead with the next question?
Yes, sir.
Have you noted this, everyone? Okay. So now comes the next question, question number 2. And this question number 2 may be in the form of a diagram. And the diagram looks like this. We have my x-axis and my y-axis. We have two cars. Car number A moving with a speed of 4 meter per second in this direction. Car number B moving at the speed of 3 meter per second in the y-axis. Can you tell me, if I ask velocity of A with respect to B, that will be negative of B with respect to A. So just tell me what will be the velocity of A with respect to B is how much in this case. One is moving like this, the other one is moving like this. You have 2 minutes to do this.
Answer.
Just beta, what is the answer? One is moving with a velocity of 4 meter per second. The other one is moving with a velocity of 3 meter per second. What is the answer?
Sir.
Yes?
1.
1. How did you get 1?
Velocity of A minus velocity of B.
Velocity of A minus velocity of B. So what is the velocity of A?
4.
Okay. What is the velocity of B?
3.
So the answer is
1.
1. What type of quantity is velocity, beta?
Meter per second.
Yes, beta.
1
What type
meter
of
per second.
quantity is velocity?
Vector quantity.
Vector. Okay, now I ask the question again. What is the velocity of A?
4.
Is 4 a vector? Is 4 a vector?
4 I cap.
Okay, now we are talking. 4 I cap. We have a unit vector along x-axis and unit vector along y-axis. So the velocity of A is how much?
4
4I. What is the velocity of B?
3 J cap.
3J cap. Well done. Now we are talking. What will be the velocity of A with respect to B?
Velocity of A.
Velocity
4I.
of A minus velocity of B. What is the velocity of A? 4I.
4 I cap minus 3 J cap.
If you find the magnitude of this velocity, how much will be the magnitude?
Root 25.
Root of 25, and that is equal to 5
5.
meter per second. Previously, I was getting the answer as 1 meter per second. Do we understand what we were doing correct and what we were doing wrong?
Yes, sir. We understand.
That is what you must understand. This is number one way of doing this entire thing. This is way number one, in which you did it in the form of vectors. This is way number one of doing it. Now, way number two of doing it. Let us also see, because what I understand is you might not get a question which might require you to convert into vectors. Now, A and B are two vectors. Do we understand this? Yes or no?
Sir.
The angle between these two vectors is 90 degrees. Do we understand this? Okay. Now, if you have two vectors, and this is just a revision, if you had two vectors, vector A and vector B, if you add the two vectors and you want to find out the magnitude of addition of two vectors, you might have seen a formula. The magnitude of resultant of two vector, addition of two vectors will be A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. Do we remember this? That was the addition of two vectors. If I, what was this theta? What was this theta? If this is my
degrees.
if this is my A vector and this is my B vector, this theta was the angle between the two vectors. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
In this case, the angle was 90 degrees. Anyways, that is how you find out A vector plus B vector. If you had to find out A vector minus B vector ka magnitude, the formula remains same. The only thing that happens, it is A square plus B square minus 2AB cos theta comes. Now remember, when you are finding out the relative velocity, you are not doing the addition of vectors. We are doing subtraction of vectors. Do you understand this? Actually, there is no term as subtraction of vectors. We are still adding the vector, but we are adding the positive A vector with negative of B vector. That is how we understand it. But anyway, let's not get into that complicated stuff. A vector plus B vector ka magnitude is A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. A vector minus B vector ka magnitude is A square plus B square minus 2AB cos theta. Do we understand this? The question that are going to come for you would probably be based on this method number 2, that is easier to find out. Here you have to find out A vector minus B vector. Yes or no? A vector was 4 along I and B vector was 3 along J. You could have straight away found out the relative velocity of A with respect to B ka magnitude, and relative velocity of A plus B ka magnitude would have been, tell me the formula. A vector is 4, so 4 square, yes or no? B vector is 3, so 3 square, yes or no? Minus, because we have to subtract, not add. Do we understand this? We have to subtract, not add. Minus 2 into 4 into 3 into cos of 90 degrees. How much is cos of 90 degrees?
0.
So you get the answer as 5. You don't have to write it in vectors. You get your answer straight away. Do we understand this?
Yes, sir.
So either you could do it by method number 1 or you can do it by method number 2. Remember the formula, the question that you are going to get may be in that form. I'll give you 1 minute, 2 minutes to note this down. Shall we move ahead in life?
Completed, sir.
Then here is the next question for you, sir. Question number 2. Object A and B both have speed of 10 meter per second. A is moving towards east. You might get questions like this. So you must remember east, west, north, south. Body A is moving towards east while body B is moving towards north, starting from the same point. Find the velocity of A with respect to B. I'm only asking you the magnitude. You have 2 minutes to give me the answer.
Ten root 2, sir. Answer.
The answer is 10 root 2. Everyone got this answer.
Yes, sir.
This is A, vector A. This is vector B. I have to find out the relative velocity of A with respect to B. I only need to find out the magnitude. I will just put the formula under root of A square 10 square B square 10 square. Remember minus. What is the angle between these two velocities? The angle is 90 degrees. Yes or no? Minus 2 into 10 into 10 into cos of 90. I don't have to write this much. If I understand that it is 0, so it is under root of 10 square plus 10 square. So velocity of A with respect to B, the magnitude will be 10 times root 2. Do you understand this? Everyone? Okay. Are we ready for the next one? Have you noted this down, everyone? Yes or no? Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes to note it down. Once you note it down, please let me know.
Completed, sir.
Completed, sir. Then comes the next question, and this is the next one. Two particles A and B are projected in air. A is thrown with a speed of 30 meter per second and B is thrown with a speed of 40 meter per second. What is the separation between them after 1 second? Remember, they are thrown in air, so this is projectile motion. Do you understand this? This is projectile motion. But even if it is projectile motion, if you find the acceleration of A with respect to B or B with respect to A, it will come 0. Yes or no? We've seen that. Yes or no? So no matter what happens, the acceleration of A with respect to B or B with respect to A is already 0. The only difference is in the question that we did, cars were moving in the same direction towards each other. Projectile were moving towards each other. Now the case is one projectile is moving like this and the other projectile is moving like this, but does not make any difference in the way that we are going to solve this question. Do we understand this? I'll give you 2 minutes to solve this. Shall I do it for you? Or you are trying? Okay, I'll wait.
Sir, answer 50.
Answer is 50. That is correct. How did you get it? Answer is correct. 50 is correct. Yes. Tell me, how did you get it?
Magnitude, sir. 30.
I can't hear you, bacha.
30 square plus 40 square.
No, but how did you get 30 square plus 40 square? That is what I want to ask. This is not an easy question for NEET. I can understand this. But if you have done this, that is good. So basically, they are thrown in air. So this particle is going to go like this. So very complicated. It's a projectile motion. This particle is going to go like this. Second projectile motion. It is very difficult. It is very difficult to solve this question from ground, because one is going in parabolic path, the other one is going in parabolic path. Did I tell you na the path of a projectile is parabola? Did I tell you that or not? I told you that this is a parabola. One more note that you must write, which can come as a question for your NEET, is this, and it might come as a question in NEET. The path of one projectile from other projectile while both are in air is always a straight line. A very important point. If you are looking at one projectile from another projectile, when both of these projectiles are in air, the path or the way the second projectile looks to the first one, or the first one looks to the second one, is always a straight line. Do we understand this? Why this happens, bacha? This happens because acceleration of the first projectile A with respect to B is equal to acceleration of B with respect to A, and that is equal to 0. So remember these 2 points. The acceleration of one projectile with respect to the other, or the first projectile with respect to second, is always 0. Therefore, whenever you become one projectile and you look at some other projectile, the path is always a straight line. Do we understand this? Yes or no? No, yes. So here also, if we find the acceleration of A with respect to B, it is simply equal to 0. So you don't have to worry about the acceleration. To find velocity of A with respect to B, you have got two ways of doing it. Either you do it in vectors, or you just find the magnitude, because you know that it is a straight line motion. Yes or no? So you just find the magnitude because that is simpler for you. That will be under root of. And remember, one more small trick that you should remember, small hint, small smartness, small trick. If one is 3 and the other is 4, whether one is 30, 0.3, 300, 3000, 3 lakh, the other one will be 4, 40, 400, 4000, 0.4. The angle always the angle between them will always be equal to 90 degrees, because they want a square plus b square is equal to c square wala formula. Do you understand this? Similar thing happens with 6 and 8. If one is 6, the other one is 8, the answer is always 10. So here, magnitude of A with which velocity of A with respect to B will be 30 square plus 40 square minus 0. Yes or no? That thing is 0. So it simply becomes 50. 50 meter per second, motion in a straight line. We want to find out the distance after 1 second. So again, I can apply the formula of displacement of A with respect to B, straight line. It is initial velocity of A with respect to B into t plus half at square, that is 0. Do we understand this 0? You just multiply it by time. Time is 1 second. So the displacement or the distance between the two is 50 meters. Do we understand this, everyone? Yes or no? I'll give you 2 minutes to note down every point that I've written, because every point is a prospective question that can come in your NEET. 2 minutes you have. Let me know once you are done, bacha.
Completed, sir.
Completed, sir. Then that takes us to the next set of problem, next category of problem, and that is known as the Rain Man problem. Now, what happens in this Rain Man problem is that a man is walking on a horizontal road. You can see this man is looking like Dr. Strange or a detective who is walking with a umbrella in his hand, and he's walking on the horizontal road. Rain is falling vertically downwards. Do we see this? So the question, there could be two questions asked. The first question is, what is the velocity of rain with respect to man? Both these velocities that you see, the green velocity, velocity of man, and the red velocity, the velocity of rain, they are given with respect to ground. Yes or no? Do we understand this? So if you have to find out, there are two things that they will ask. If you have to find out the velocity of rain with respect to man, how will you find out? You will find it out as velocity of r minus velocity of m. Yes or no? No or yes? Now, if you want to write it in vectors, it will become vr, and this vr, velocity of rain is in the minus j direction. Yes or no? Downwards. Minus velocity of man is in the plus I. Remember our sign convention is like this. Yes or no? This is x and this is y. Yes or no? Rain is downward, so minus j. Man is forward, so plus I, but it will become minus, so it will look like this. This will be the form in vectors. Do we understand this? Yes or no? This will be the answer if you do it in vector form. Do we understand this? Okay. Now, if someone asks you to find out the magnitude of velocity of rain with respect to man, it is simply a square plus b square minus 2ab cos theta. So simply you will get under root of vm square plus vr square. Yes or no? No or yes? But there is one more thing that can be asked here, is in which direction he must hold his umbrella. In which direction he must hold his umbrella. So first of all, you write this, then we will come to that direction part. I'll give you 2 minutes to write this. Everyone is clear with this? Write this. Then we will look at the second question. The second question is in which direction he should hold his umbrella. So I'll give you 2 minutes to note this down. You don't have to draw the actual diagram of a man, just draw something. Even a alien looking like this would be good enough to be a man. Do we understand this? Don't look at the artistic aspect that you have to draw a detective. and the umbrella can be drawn just like this. This is his umbrella. Don't have to be very artistic. That umbrella should look like this. Don't create designs on the umbrella. Okay, you'll get time to do that, but not now. My man may not look so fancy, but he serves the purpose right now.
Completed, sir.
Completed, sir. Then that takes us to the second thing. What is the velocity of rain with respect to man? And you must understand that it goes like this. Okay, it goes like this. You can see velocity of rain with respect to man. If I write it in the vector form, velocity of rain with respect to man, it was minus vmi and minus vrj. Yes or no? Both I and j were negative. That means it lies in the third quadrant. Do we understand this? X and Y both are negative, so it lies in the third quadrant. This is the angle that is normally asked. Angle with the vertical, my dear friends. To find out this angle with the vertical, what do you do? To find out the value of tan theta, my dear friends. And this tan theta is always perpendicular. This is the perpendicular and this is the base. Do we see this? Simple trigonometry. Perpendicular is Vm. So we write Vm. Base is Vr. So these are the two questions that are asked. They ask you what is the angle he should hold his umbrella with the vertical. The answer is tan theta is Vm by Vr. They might ask you what is the velocity of rain with respect to man. So either you can write it in the vector form as in number 1, or you can write it in the magnitude form as in number 2, Vm square. Oops. Vm square plus Vr square. Do we understand this? Yes or no? No, yes. I'll give you 2 minutes to note this down, then we shall do 1 or 2 problems on this.
Completed, sir.
Completed, sir. Everyone, sir. Then, sir, this, sir, is the problem, sir. Rain is falling vertically at a speed of 10 meter per second, and a man is moving with a velocity of 6 meter per second. Find the angle at which he should hold his umbrella to avoid getting wet. That is question number 1. You can also find the velocity of rain with respect to man. Find out both the things. At what angle he should hold his umbrella, tung 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 tung, and at what is the velocity of rain with respect to man. You have 2 minutes to do this. Shall I do it for you? Or do you have an answer?
Tan inverse 3 by 5, sir.
3 by 60?
3 by 5, sir.
Yes. So velocity of rain with respect to man, let us first find the magnitude. That will be equal to under root of 6 square plus 10 square. Yes or no? So that will be under root of 136, whatever it is. I have to find out the angle theta. Remember, this is theta with V. V means vertical. So to find out theta with the vertical, what do? You divide the velocity of man, which is 6 by 10. You get very nice 3 by 5. And these are the two answers that we are looking at. Everyone understood this? Everyone got this?
Yes, sir.
Comes the next one. Are we ready for the next one?
Yes, sir.
Here comes the next one. Rain is falling vertically downward. So I've just written this with velocity is equal to 5 meter per second. Man is moving horizontally with velocity 12 meter per second. Find velocity of rain with respect to man ka magnitude and theta v. At what angle should he hold his umbrella so that he does not get wet? That is how it is said. With the vertical, remember. So here are the two questions. I hope you can answer them. You have 2 minutes because the only 4 minutes are left in the class. 2 minutes for you, 2 for me. I am a fair person. Just do we have anything that looks like an answer?
Magnitude equals 13, sir.
Magnitude. So velocity of rain with respect to man. The magnitude. Remember, why did I give you this? Remember these Pythagorean triplets. Remember these Pythagorean triplets. What do you mean by Pythagorean triplets?
13
One number square plus two number square is the third number square. The Pythagorean triplets are, wrong color. 3, 4, 5. Do we understand?
Yes, sir.
12, 5, 13. One more Pythagorean. These are only two I remember. But if you multiply this by 2, this by 2 and this by 2, you get the next Pythagorean triplet. 6, 8, 10. Understand this? You multiply it by 3, you get the third, fourth. And what you are going to get is either this one, most likely, or in rare cases, this one. Anyways, that was the reason I gave you this 5, 12. So velocity of rain with respect to man will be under root of 12 square plus 5 square. You must remember that it is 13, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Then you have to find tan theta with the vertical. That will
12 by
be
5.
12 by 5. So theta with the vertical is tan inverse Remember, they might write the answer like this. You are not math students, so I must also tell you that you can write it also this way. Inverse angle of tan inverse angle of 12 by 5, and that finishes your class for today. In today's class, we have taken a lot of steps. We have seen relative velocity or relative motion in 2 dimension, and we have solved some lovely problems based on this, starting from the first problem where everything was given in vectors, to problems where we had direction coming in. We had seen the formula a square plus b square minus 2ab. Remember it always. And then we have seen the famous Rain Man problem. The only thing that is left now is your river boat or river man problem. Up till now, man was swimming like this, upstream or downstream. Now he will swim like this. River will flow like this, and he will swim like this. We call that river crossing problem. That is the next set of problem that we'll do. Take care. If you have any doubts, you can always ask me. Bye bye. God bless you all.
Bye, sir.
Bye, beta.